In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about what a drag screen is in basketball. You may have heard this from color commentary people or from channels like B-Ball Breakdown, and you're probably wondering, what is a drag screen? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So basically what a drag screen is between the point guard usually, or the player who's dribbling the ball up court, and usually a center or another big player like a forward. And this is usually done with a transition game when you're going from defense going onto offense. If you just got the defensive rebound and you're coming down onto the offensive side of the floor, you're going to have your point guard on one side, maybe closer to the middle. It's totally a fluid situation. It doesn't have to be exactly how it is here on the clipboard. But then in transition, you're going to have a screen by your center or maybe another big player. And then your point guard is going to use that screen. The whole idea behind this is to run a quick offense with your team so that you can get easy points. Now, you would normally want to do this either when the other team is still trying to set up into a zone or when you're trying to just get some quick offense. Some things that I would actually recommend doing is by having your players who are running up the wings to cut down towards the corners. This is very beneficial. And then the trailing player who is back here to go towards the point. This is actually a very good situation because you'll have players 3 and 2 in this case going down towards the corners. You'll have player 1 coming off of that screen. You'll have player 5 coming off of that screen as the player who is rolling towards the basket. If player 5 hedged really far and player 1 was able to stay down to protect the rim against player 5, of course you could send up the alley-oop to player 5. That is an option unless player 2 came down to defend it, but you could also have player 3 red sneak in, which then allows that charge to be taken. But if you could pass it out to player 3 on this side quickly, you could air it out for a quick 3. The other option here is to have player 4 go over, because he was just at the point, to go over towards the wing, have that pass come out. You're going to have player 4's momentum take him out to defend player 3, which then the extra pass could bring it to player 4 for an easy shot. So essentially what a drag screen is essentially a screen and roll right up at the point between your ball handler and another player in transition from defense to offense. Now, this doesn't have to be with player 5, but what you will find in most occasions is player 5's man will always run back to the low post, or into the paint at least, because he's afraid of player 5 posting up. Well, if this is the case, it's even better, because if player 5 sets that screen and player 1 can really attack player 5 and make him go out and guard player 1, and player 5 is rolling off of this screen, this is a very easy bounce pass or alley-oop for player 5 to get a basket. There's also that opportunity if player 4's man, like over here, hasn't, or the trailing player at least, hasn't come down towards the court yet, or there's a mix-up in the defensive situation, you may be able to have the opportunity to stop where you're going, pass the ball back to the point, which we see a ton of times in the NBA for the three-point shot. This is why I always say the trailer, if we're setting a drag screen, and I always, with the teams that I've coached in the past, every time I coach a team that's able to learn advanced things like this, and I call this an advanced tactic, is to be able to say every time we're in a defense to offense transition from a defensive rebound, push the ball down court. I don't care who has the ball. I don't care if it's a point guard setting the screen. We need to set a drag screen. Trailing last player down court goes to the point, because then if they start really clogging up the middle, we can then just kick that ball out to the point. He could have an open three-point shot, or if they start running out to try and stop that shot, which especially at the younger age group you're going to find quite often, then he can have the extra pass, and then he could have the shot Or if this was a really bad defensive transition for the red team, player 4 may come out to try and to contest that, in which in case we may have a player 5 who is wide open again in the low post. So it's all about trying to set that screen quickly and make the quick passes. So how I like to have it with my team is to essentially have it where I'll say every single time we are going from defense to offense, get that ball up the middle of the court, dribble it up the court. The first 2 players down court, I want to see a drag screen. I don't care if it's a point guard setting the screen. We're setting it. And then when we set it, I want to see the trailing player go to the point, because at this point, what I want to see is after that screen, if you have the ball, either you're attacking the rim or you're passing it. And if you're passing it and you just caught it out in the perimeter, either you have 1 second to shoot it, or you have 1 second to pass it to somebody else, or you have 1 second to drive towards the rim yourself. Every single time we are setting a drag screen and we're running a quick offense like this, which normally I would run, and then I would set up and say, well, if we don't score off of the first 2 attempts of either a screen or a pass, I want to set up our 5-out offense, and that's going to be our quick offense. Pass, screen away, get that ball moving quickly so that we can get that defense away from the players, or at least that defense unset, so that now they are missing men, they're double teaming who they shouldn't be double teaming, things like that, and the defense then makes a lot of mistakes and it can get us some easy points. This is a great way to set a quick offense off of a defensive rebound. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Make sure to go check out my 5-out complete guide down in the description below, and I'll see you guys again next time.